Netflix is dropping more than a few exciting new releases this November. The final season of House of Cards is making its debut this month, along with the Chris Pine-led The Outlaw King. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Here's everything good coming to Netflix in November 2018. Even though Kevin Spacey's out the picture, his character, Frank Underwood, will apparently still play into the events of the final season of House of Cards. According to Reuters, the exact cause of his death will be something of a lingering mystery that's sticking around to haunt his widow and the new president, Claire Underwood. Check it out when House of Cards returns on November 2nd. Journey back to the clashing cultures of 1970 with ReMastered, Tricky Dick, and The Man in Black, a documentary about that time Johnny Cash went to the White House to hang out with Richard Nixon. This is the second installment in Netflix's musical documentary series, the first of which, ReMastered, Who Shot the Sheriff, delved into the 1976 assassination attempt on Bob Marley. Look for Tricky Dick and The Man in Black on November 2nd. Only in 2018 will the epic and finished film by legendary director Orson Welles go straight to streaming. But here we are, on the cusp of the Netflix release of a film over 40 years in the making. Welles supposedly left behind 10 hours of raw footage for his satirical mockumentary, and it's now been painstakingly edited together into a finished product. The Other Side of the Wind premieres on November 2nd, side by side with They'll Love Me When I'm Dead, a documentary that explores the making of the film. In this one-man show, John Leguizamo delivers a comedy-filled stage drama that traces Latin history from the Mayans to the modern day. The show garnered Leguizamo a Tony nomination for Best Play, and Netflix brought their cameras to capture one of the acclaimed performances in June 2018. Tune in to John Leguizamo's Latin History for Morons on November 5th. Chris Pine stars in this upcoming Netflix film as Robert the Bruce, the real-life historical figure who organized the Scottish clans to go to war against England. From the looks of the trailer so far, Outlaw King will be a bloody romp through history that tracks Robert's path from fugitive to King of Scots. Take a look on November 9th. Halloween certainly doesn't mark the end of the year's horror releases, as Netflix's upcoming May the Devil Take You proves. The Indonesian fright flick focuses on a younger woman who travels to her father's old house after he falls into a coma. There, she discovers that dear old dad had more than a few skeletons in his closet, and some of them want to kill her. Get ready for a dark descent into hell when May the Devil Take You hits Netflix on November 15th. You probably won't recognize Madeline Brewer's name, but her face may ring a bell. The young actress appeared in Orange is the New Black, The Handmaid's Tale, and Black Mirror, and now she's set to star in Netflix's newest psychological thriller, Cam. The film follows Alice, a webcam girl whose life is hijacked by someone who looks just like her. That kicks off a harrowing mystery as Alice tries to figure out what her doppelganger wants from her. Check it out on November 16th. The Narcos spin-off Narcos Mexico puts a new cast of characters at the start of the Mexican drug war, setting the series in the early 80s and chronicling the bloody beginnings of a violent cartel. Michael Peña and Diego Luna are set to star, and the new take on the series looks like it will be downright brutal, but also pretty amazing. Dig in on November 16th. There's been a lot of hype building for the Ballad of Buster Scruggs, the newest release from Joel and Ethan Coen. The anthology film twines together 6 different stories about the American West, each infused with the kind of dark comedy that could only come from the Coen brothers. Buster Scruggs has already hit the 2018 festival circuit, and critics are loving it. Will the rest of the world fall in love too? Find out when it rides onto Netflix on November 16th. Among all the historical shows on Netflix, The Last Kingdom tends to fall between the cracks. That's a shame because this period epic is definitely worth the time to watch. Originally created by BBC, The Last Kingdom follows a warrior in the 9th century during a time when what is now England was being overrun by the invading Danes. Between its high production values, solid storytelling, and breathtaking battles, The Last Kingdom is definitely worth checking out. Season 3 hits Netflix on November 19th. Not to be confused with that other show about the Archie Comics character, this Sabrina is a horror film about a doll that comes to life after a little girl tries to bring her mother back from the dead. That's a cheerful premise, and the trailer for Sabrina suggests that it only gets worse from there. Look for it to hit Netflix on November 20th. The 2017 return of Mystery Science Theater 3000 gave fans plenty to love. All the charm of the old series was back, along with a brand new set of terrible films to make fun of. What's not to like? With the next season, Jonah and his robo friends will be riffing on 6 new movies. Grab your popcorn and settle in for the new season on November 22nd. Between The Last Kingdom and Frontier, Netflix is bringing plenty of historical action to the small screen in November. Frontier is set in the Canadian frontier and follows an outlaw who's dead set on wreaking havoc on the region's fur trade. The outlaw is Declan Harp, played by Jason Momoa. Whether you're a longtime fan or just now getting into Frontier, you can look forward to Season 3 when it arrives on November 23rd. Netflix has 2 new stand-up specials slated for November, and each one is well worth a watch. On the 20th, watch out for Trevor Noah, son of Patricia, which sees the Daily Show host on stage for an evening of hard-hitting jokes. Then, November 27th heralds the arrival of a double dose of comedy, when Jeff Ross and Dave Attell both take the stage and take turns roasting each other in a special called Bumping Mics with Jeff Ross and Dave Attell. That's all of the good Netflix originals coming in November. Now let's highlight a few of the best films hitting the streaming service. Alfonso Cuarón's excellent Children of Men is a highlight of November's action additions, arriving on the 1st. The dystopian drama follows a disillusioned alcoholic who's roped into protecting the last known pregnant woman on Earth. Cuarón used extensive long takes while filming, leading to some pretty jaw-dropping action scenes. After that, look for Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End to sail on to streaming on November 4th. There's also a flood of irreverent comedies splashing onto Netflix on the 1st. Look for Deuce Bigalow, European Gigolo, National Lampoon's Animal House, and Scary Movie 2 and 3. It might not be a highbrow selection, but it's bound to be hilarious. I can't believe I just said that. On the thriller side, Netflix is doubling down on its post-Halloween chills. On the 1st, keep your eyes open for Cloverfield, From Dusk Till Dawn, Bram Stoker's Dracula, and Transcendence. On the 12th, Netflix is checking in Green Room, an intense little movie about a band stuck in a gig full of murderous neo-Nazis. Anton Yelchin stars with a sinister performance by Patrick Stewart as the villain.